Yes, you. So you want to learn how to play the Demogorgon, huh? You want to know what perks to use, his perks, what add-ons to use, and how to use his power? In this video, I'm going to tell you how to play the Demogorgon. So now let's look at Demogorgon's 3 teachable perks, and I hope you love perks that revolve around generators because all 3 of his rely on generators. His first teachable perk is Surge. Surge works that when you down a survivor with a basic attack, all generators within a 32-meter radius of you instantly explode and start regressing. This makes them take 8% damage and start regressing, but it has a 40-second cooldown. The numbers on this are actually pretty decent, and the 6% regression stacks with other perks like Ruin or if the generator is already regressing, so you get extra regression on top of the already regressing generator, but the regression speed does not stack, so don't think that you can have Ruin and then use Surge and get 300% regressing speed on your generators. That doesn't work. Surge is actually pretty nice because if there's one gen you really want to defend and it's already regressing, you can down someone and then get extra aggression. I mean, it's only 6%, but every percent helps. The downside of this perk again is that it only applies to 1 basic attacks, but honestly I'm not pretty sure about that. I need to test this again. And 2, that it only applies in a 32-meter radius around you. So if you down someone that's running away from a generator and they get out of that radius, then the perk doesn't activate. Thankfully, this perk does not go on cooldown if it doesn't hit any generators. Thanks to this perk automatically proccing if there's any generators worked on near you, you can use this perk to then tell if there's any generators in your vicinity that are worked on. If the perk doesn't go off, then there's no one near you working on gens, so you can go look somewhere else. Overall, this perk isn't terrible exactly. I mean, compared to the other 2 perks, this makes it look like it's an S tier, God tier perk that you should run in every build, but compared to the other perks outside of his teachables, it's pretty meh. So the pros of this perk are that it lets you know which generators near you are being worked on, it automatically regresses gens and can regress generators that are already regressing, making more percent tick away, and that it procs automatically. The cons are that you can only proc it in areas near you, there's a cooldown, and of course, it only works on basic attacks. His second teachable perk, Mindbreaker. Mindbreaker works in 2 ways. 1, if the survivor is already not exhausted, it gives them a 5-second exhaustion debuff. But if the survivor already does have a pre-existing exhausted status effect, then it pauses the timer on it and will not tick down as if they were still running around. This is good because it stops it so that when you get to a generator, the Meg can't sprint burst away and make you lose a chase instantly. But at the same time, it also makes it so that if you do continue the chase with them, they can 99 a sprint burst, and at any time during that chase, if they're healthy, they could stand still for 5 seconds, which is pretty easy for a chase, and sprint burst away. In one of my recent matches I went against a Demogorgon who brought Mindbreaker, I used Mindbreaker against him to 99% a sprint burst, and then at any time during my chase, I could just stand still for a few seconds and instantly lose him because sprint burst mid-chase is one of the strongest things in the game. This also applies to Lithe too, considering that sometimes the one vault in the chase doesn't always lead to a good area, which means that you've now wasted your Lithe. But thanks to Mindbreaker, you have it 99, so the first few times you vault, you'll still be exhausted and not waste your perk. This perk is really good as an idea, but sadly that's the only thing it's good at, being an idea. As soon as it's transformed into being an actual perk, it falls off completely. A good survivor can use this perk against you in 99 a sprint burst, which can lead them instantly to another pallet, or another vault, another jungle gym, whatever it may be. Same thing with Lithe. However, of course this does counter perks like Dead Hard, Head On, Balance Landing, Smash Hit exists too, I guess, so that they can't use them instantly. So the pros of this perk are that it just stops rank 20 Megheads from sprint bursting around the map and touching gens, and that's about it, that's all it does. A good survivor can use this perk against you. What a good idea for a perk. If they buffed any of the numbers, I would actually consider using this perk. His final teachable perk is another generator perk, and this one is just cruel because it's cruel limits. This perk genuinely is just terrible. It only works in one very specific tiny slight scenario, and outside of that it's completely useless. Hell, one time I went against it and I didn't even realize it was fucking cruel limits, because no one runs cruel limits. Everyone runs Bamboozle or the new Hex perk from the Trickster. Cruel Limits works that each time a generator is repaired, all windows and vault locations, which are the same thing, within 32 meters of it become blocked for all survivors for the next 30 seconds. That's it, meaning that, of course, since it's relying on generators, you only get 5 chances of this. Along with that, not all generators have vault locations near them, and 32 meters only will block maybe 1 or 2. Genuinely, this perk only has one very niche scenario where it actually works. That being that as soon as you get to the generator, they finish the generator in your face and block all the vault locations near them. This, of course, implies that there's only one strong vault location near them and no pallets, but most generators don't even have vault locations near them, or if they do, there's a vault and a pallet, and if they see that the window is blocked, they'd instantly run to a pallet because 9 out of 10 times that's the safer option. One issue I didn't bring up with Mindbreaker, because it also applies to this too, is that if they are working on a generator on the opposite side of the map, not near you, you won't get any value out of these two perks. Because Mindbreaker, if they're on the opposite side of the map, they don't need to sprint burst or go anywhere since they're working on a generator. Or in Cruel Limit's case, if they finish a generator far away from you, they don't need to vault anymore, they can just walk to the next generator. So these two perks don't do anything unless you're near the generator. Same thing with Surge, all three of these rely on being near generators. So the cons of Cruel Limit, basically everything. You waste a perk slot that will only do maybe one thing throughout the entire match. That's it. Don't use this perk. But now I'll talk about the perks you should use. Demogorgon has a lot of perks that are actually usable on him, since he's very fast and strong in chase and also very fluid on the map, being able to teleport a lot. So you can run perks like Barbecue and Chili to instantly get to survivors you see far away from you. Tinkerer to know what generators to go to when you see that they're going to be finished soon. Then perks like Ruin, Pop Goes the Weasel, and other generator-resting perks. Of course, if you don't want to play the gen defense perk game, then you can just go hyper offensive Demogorgon and bring perks like Sloppy Butcher, Save the Best for Last, Enduring Spirit Fury, and just completely shred through pallets and shred through players. Next, let's talk about Demogorgon's add-ons, and by add-ons I mean 2 or 3 because the rest are kind of meh. A lot of Demogorgon's add-ons do stuff like make you open portals faster, make you go through portals faster, make your portals recharge faster, make you have more portals. But as it is, his portals are already perfectly balanced and fine. You go through them fast enough, have a fast enough cooldown on it, and you can see people in a large enough radius. Right now there's only 3 real add-ons you should run on him, that being Blackheart, Barb's Glasses, and the Leprose Lichen. All 3 of these are very strong add-ons that do really strong stuff. Blackheart makes it so that when you do a shred, it recovers faster if you hit it. Barbed Glasses makes it so you break pallets faster, and by faster I mean faster than even using Brutal Strength. And the Leprose Lichen is basically Barbecue and Chili if they gave it 15 things of roids and then told it to go do everything in the universe. Like I said, the rest of his add-ons really just do stuff that boosts the speed of his actions, but his action speeds are already really fast as is, so you don't really need to run them. There's also add-ons that make it so while they're cleansing your portals, they might get debuffed, or it makes it so that when they're walking on the portals, they instantly get detected. But they're not that decent, they're very niche, but they're not bad. Overall, you should still only run Barb's Glasses, Blackheart, and if you're feeling really evil, run the Lichen Moss thing. Now let's finally talk about the biggest thing of Demogorgon, that's his power, obviously. He has basically a power and a half, with his main power being opening portals through the abyss, and then his second power being of the abyss, where you charge up your arms and then do a big shred. Now it may sound like his main power is the portals and that would be the strongest thing, but no, not at all. His shred is 10 times stronger and everyone cares more about the shred than his own actual teleporting power, because there are matches where you never even get to teleport. There are times when you're applying so much pressure with your shreds and being able to down survivors so fast that you don't even need to teleport because all the survivors are grouping around the hook trying to unhook them, so you don't even need to teleport because everyone's just grouping up around you. Demogorgon's power works like this. At default, he has 6 portals that he can place around the map at any time in certain places, which basically just means he can't place them in small nooks and crannies because it has to be a wide enough area. When they're first placed down, they are white and they cannot be observed by the survivor, but the survivor can see you placing them, and if they have a good enough memory, they can just remember where the portal is. Unlike basically every other killer who has zoning or map control, Demogorgon has a limited amount of portals he can place at a time. He can only have 6 active on the map at a time. Once you hit 6, you cannot place any more. However, if a portal is cleansed, then it adds 1 more that you can place. But unlike Hag or Freddy, where when you place traps, the old ones will get recycled for new ones, when you hit your limit as Demogorgon, you just have to wait for them to cleanse. There are add-ons, however, that will allow you to place more portals and increase your limit. There is one add-on that will make it so when you teleport to a new portal, it will get destroyed, meaning that you'll basically always be able to have portals to place and recycle through them. But still, it doesn't mean that you should place portals wherever you want, whenever you want, because once you hit that limit, you can't place any more portals. But don't worry about running out of portals. For some reason, whenever a survivor sees a opened portal, they must cleanse it. Even if it's in the middle of nowhere and provides no tactical advantages whatsoever, they will cleanse it. Those 200 blood points for cleansing a portal is just so tasty that they must cleanse it. When a survivor is on an open portal, 2 things happen. 1, they will become oblivious, meaning that they can't hear your terror radius, and 2, they will be revealed when you start charging up your Of the Abyss, which is your shred attack. Meaning that while they're on one, you basically have a radar that you can toggle on at any time and see where they are. They don't know when you're toggling it though, but more than likely they'll already be cleansing it, so you'll know where they are. And now a huge thing about Demogorgon that I haven't mentioned yet is he is literally the loudest killer in the game. Every single action you do can be heard map wide, whether it be missing an attack, hitting an attack, teleporting, or doing whatever. You also have the largest and loudest footsteps in the game. For some reason, they made Demogorgon louder than Pyramid Head and fucking Nemesis. I bring this up now because Demogorgon's portals also have an added effect that when you teleport through them, you have no terror radius and are granted the undetectable status for 3 seconds. Sounds good, right? Because then you can teleport somewhere and be like, they don't know where I am. But it doesn't matter because you were the loudest killer in the game, and you walking basically has its own terror radius. So if you try and play stealthy, unless you bring the one stealth add-on that makes it so when you teleport no one can hear you, they will always have a general idea of where you are and what you're doing. So I don't know why there's a stealth mechanic built in when it's completely neutered and shot in the leg before it could even run and get a head start. Now there's 3 ways you can use his portals. You can A, place them on a generator, B, place them near the generator, or C, if you're really crazy, just place them in random spots around the map to get to key areas. For option A, if you do that, you basically can always go to the generator you want at any time, but once it's active, they will always cleanse it first, because remember, when they see an open meat hole, they must tear it apart. And also, while it's on the generator, of course, when you charge your Of the Abyss, it will start giving you the killer instinct, basically showing you where these survivors are. There are add-ons that can make it so the range of this is larger and make it so that the portal takes longer to close. But let's say hypothetically that there's one generator you really need to defend, you can place a portal on the generator and then place one slightly far away so that when they close the first one they'll think they're safe, and then when they hear you teleport and go to the one that's slightly far away, they'll think they're safe. And then you can try and slap them, but remember, you're the loudest killer in the game, so they'll hear you coming literally a mile away. If you do option B, you won't be able to tell when the survivor is working on a generator since the killer instinct won't show them, but you can try and do a stealth attack for some reason even though your footsteps are the loudest in the game, but hey, sometimes it might work. Demogorgon's second red add-on, the Red Moss, makes it so that when you go through one of your portals, you don't do your scream anymore, so survivors don't know when you teleport. So if you want to do option B and place your portal slightly far away from the generator so they don't see you directly coming, you can try it with the Red Moss and see how you do. But remember, as soon as you start walking, your footsteps are loud as hell, so they'll know you're coming. And even then, if you do try to teleport somewhere random with the Red Moss, as soon as you do one basic attack, or you do your shred, you do any sort of movement option or whatever, you scream. So now everyone instantly knows where you are again. So there's no point of trying to play stealth, really. Because your noises are omnidirectional and they come from everywhere, so they know where you are. But now here's the arguably more important part of Demogorgon's kit, and that's his shred. His shred does so much more than his portals, where I've had so many games that I can't count that I've just never been able to use my portals because shred is so much stronger. Shred works like this. When you hold down your power button, Demogorgon's face and hands will open up so the survivor can tell when you're charging it. When he does his charge, he starts moving around slower, but when you press the attack button while it's charged, you lunge forward at 400 and something % movement speed and shoot forward 11 meters, so you basically just get a super dash. This super dash can break pallets and walls, and basically you can just slam your face into anything that's breakable and you destroy it. When you're in a chase, what you want to do is start charging your shred before the survivor gets to the pallet. When they see that you're charging it, 9 out of 10 times they'll just drop the pallet and then you can do your shred and break it. There's a slight charge up to your shred, so you can use it to bait out dead hards and stuff because they see you open up your face, your flower face, and then they instantly panic and dead hard. Never really be afraid to use your shred on a pallet when the survivor's there, because like 9 out of 10 times you either break the pallet or hit them. You rarely ever get stunned because the frames to actually stun them are so astronomically small compared to actually being able to break the pallet. However, if you do miss, there's a large cooldown on it, so if you miss, you're just kind of standing still for like 2 or 3 seconds. So make sure that you wait and are patient if you're trying to actually get the hit with the shred. Just holding your shred out creates so much pressure that the survivors will just panic and run around in circles, dodging left and right without you even doing anything. You can hold forward with your shred out and they just start dancing left and right in front of you while you're not even doing anything because shred just creates that much pressure. So use your portals to defend key areas, generators, or wherever else you want to teleport, and then use shred in chase to break pallets quickly and pressure survivors into dropping them early or baiting out their dead hard, so they dead hard into a tree or whatever. Demogorgon is one of my favorite killers, probably my second or third favorite killer behind Nemesis and Spirit, maybe Nurse. And I just love this character, so I wanted to make a little guide like this and help you players know what to do with Demogorgon and how to play. So now get out there and eat some face. Literally, go Mori everyone you see. He has like the second best Mori in the game.